everyone, and welcome to yet another beautiful episode of Shine Africa. And we are at the Somatel Hotel in Biemasi, and we're saying a very big thank you to management and staff of this hotel. And also, today we're thinking of all of you who are watching from Kumbu, who are watching from, what are those places after Kumbu? From Oku. We'd like to thank you because we've gotten your calls and your messages. On today's episode of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about something that concerns almost all Cameroonians, if not all of Africa. We are talking about roads. We are talking about road engineering, and we're talking about experience and expertise in this sector. I'm sure that every one of us at some point in time, especially Cameroonians, we must have had some complaints about our roads, and it's like we want to know what is happening with our technicians. So we brought an expert to talk to you today. Before we do so, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our guest artist of the day, Byron Carson.
Feel the magic.
Yeah, this is my story. I was just a little boy when I started writing songs. I always knew I was gonna make it, though the road was very tough. Hard work is all that I need to make it to the top. It's been a long time now. Tout le monde veut être une star de la musique. Tout le monde veut être une star au cinéma. Oh Seigneur, tu sais, je compte bien sur toi. Ne m'abandonne pas, ne me quitte pas. This is my story, since I was born. I give God the glory for keeping me strong. This is my story, that I live for long. I give God the glory, the glory, the glory. Life is so amazing. Don't you get it twisted. It's not a bed of roses. All my pain, all my pain, all my struggles, sleepless nights, in the studio. Right. Tout le monde veut être une star de la musique. Je veux être une star. Tout le monde veut être une star au cinéma. Comment dois-je faire, mes frères, pour réussir? Réussir, mes frères. Dis-moi comment se montrer compliqué. This is my story, since I was born. I give God the glory for keeping me strong. This is my story, that I live for long. I give God the glory, the glory, the glory. This is my story, I give God the glory. This is my story, I give God the glory. I give God the glory. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. It ain't easy out here, making it in life. All around, since I was born, all around, keeping me strong, all around, that I live for long. I work for the pain and sacrifice. Never you give glory, the glory. For the pain and sacrifice. Never you give up on your life. I work for the pain and sacrifice. Never you give up, my brother.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
This is my story since I was born. I think I'll reconsider or consider becoming a musical artist. I'm way far out of that, ladies and gentlemen. And I told you at the beginning of the show that we're handling something very sensitive when it comes to the Cameroonian population and, of course, perhaps to Africa in general. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my guest, Dr. MUNDI Emmanuel. You're very welcome to the show, Doc. Use your microphone.
Thank you.
I have some nostalgic feelings having you here because I was very little when I started hearing about Dr. MUNDI, and do I say I'm grown up and I'm here with you on my set? Oh,
exactly.
I'm blushing. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you too.
I'm humbled.
Yeah.
Now you asked us to do the pineapple juice, and we're going to go to my kitchen where we do the happy juice.
Okay,
Come with me, please.
thank you.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
You want to tell me why you like pineapples?
Well, pineapple is one of my favorite fruits, and it is particularly good for people of age like us.
Wow.
It has a lot of vitamins and a lot of things that make some of us feel a little bit younger.
That's true. And someone told me just here in the kitchen some time ago that it works against prostate cancer.
Exactly.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Yes.
We got these ones this morning at the Acacia Market here in BMRC.
Yeah, they look very attractive. So you're going to blend it?
Yes, we're not blending, we're actually extracting the juice. Yes,
okay.
Extract the juice. You get the juice right here.
Yeah,
it comes
exactly.
out. Yes.
Exactly. That's fast and it's really good. Yeah.
Our juice is ready. I hope we have 2 glasses. Here's for you.
Thank you.
And here's for me. What's your favorite color, doctor?
Color?
Yes, color.
In anything yellow and pink.
Wow, that's strange for a man.
Yeah,
Yellow and pink.
A little bit, yes.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite colors.
I give you a yellow, and I also take a yellow.
Okay.
Have a sip of it, please. Have a sip of your juice. That tasty, right? Very sweet.
It tastes really good.
I like that. And just before we take leave of here, ladies and gentlemen, remember that a kitchen without a juicer is not alive. A kitchen without a juicer is not alive.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
You're welcome back from that very juicy break, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're just joining us, you're still on Shine Africa, and we are still at Somatel Hotel in BMSC. And of course, I'm still in the company of my very handsome guest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Doctor, you're welcome once
Thank you.
more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, we're going to talk about you before we start hitting hard on our topic.
Okay.
I know you a lot, but the people who are watching now do not know you. So who is Dr. MUNDI Emmanuel?
My name is Emmanuel Kangis MUNDI, born in Tamulung in Bamenda.
Wow.
I studied in Cameroon Protestant College in Bali.
Wow.
And then my university studies were all done in the United States of America, where I obtained a bachelor's degree, 2 master's degrees, and 1 PhD.
In geology
In
and
geotechnical engineering.
Okay.
Geotechnical engineering, some of you may not know, geotechnical engineering means geo, earth, technical, to manipulate the earth materials
Okay.
so that you can build roads, build houses, treat them, and make sure the quality is right for these structures. That's geotechnical.
Technical, wow. And you returned to Cameroon in 1973 when my mother was not yet married.
That's right. Actually, I've been in working for 47 years.
Wow.
I retired, and I'm now just a freelance consultant.
Yes, and I like the fact that you were the first Cameroonian director of Labogini, that is the National Civil Engineering Laboratory. Yes.
Precisely after the expatriates had left, the government thought I could fill that place, so I was appointed to be the first Director General of the Labogini.
Mm-hmm. But thereafter, you went to Addis Ababa.
Yes, thereafter, the government proposed me to be elected in Addis Ababa as the first Director General of the Lagos-Mombasa Trans-African Highway Authority.
Wow.
And so we were going to have that authority installed in Bangui, Central African Republic. This was a project of the Economic Commission for Africa.
Yeah.
And at that time, led by Professor Adebayo Adedeji.
Mm-hmm. Just before we come back to talk about your rich background in consultancy, I'd like to get your feeling, being on top of, you were first here, there, being on top of everything. How did that keep you comfortable? How did you feel?
No, the profession of geotechnical engineering, at the time I returned to Cameroon, the young engineers did not quite know what it was. But sooner or later, I had followers like Alphonse Siwe was the second one, and Sikali Flora.
Wow.
And then now we have many younger geotechnical engineers who are in the different fields, working for companies, road construction companies, working for building companies in Cameroon right now.
Now, you've been consulting for so long, and I know that you also taught at the National Polytechnic here in Yaoundé.
Yes, while I was Director General, I was teaching part-time as an associate professor in École Polytechnique and in École de Travaux Publics.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So now, we have a lot of you around, those that have come from out of the country, those that are here. Yet, I don't want to talk about the Chinese that come here and you all are here, but I want to talk about the state of our roads, especially in the rural areas. I don't even want to say rural areas, in the regions. Sometimes we are lay people when it comes to all that, but I have the impression as a person that you get to a road, they do a road today, and by 1 week, 2 weeks, when you're coming, some part of it is already gone down.
Correct.
Yeah, what happens in that kind of case?
It's a very simple explanation. If you give me 1 million francs to make a 1 kilometer road, I will do it. 1 million francs to make just a kilometer road. But if you also give me 1 billion, I would construct a superb 1 kilometer road. So the problem usually is insufficient financing.
Well...
And sometimes poor design, yes.
Yes, I'm Cameroonian, and I know that this is not a political show, but I know that sometimes we say that they gave the money to the man and the company, and they ate the money, so they didn't do the road well. So are we misunderstanding?
Yeah, I think there is a gross misinterpretation here, because all projects, in principle, in Cameroon, you have the contractor, which the public usually does not understand that. You have the contractor, he is the one who has the caterpillars. You have the control mission, who controls the contractor.
Okay.
And I've worked mostly in that domain.
The control mission, yeah.
Then you have the government that controls the control that controls the contractor. So it's a
I don't know how many people are lost like me.
The government comes after the control mission to make sure they're controlling the contractor properly. If not, they will not pay our bills. So it's a system put up that is fail-safe. So when people say the contractor chopped the money and so on, we just laugh
Yeah,
over
but
it.
if they gave you the money and then government officials come and you gave them some of the money and they just looked at the road, because I don't see how there is a contractor and there is a control mission, there is a control of the control mission, and then the road is still sinking.
No, that is not it. Well, I think you would visit some of the new roads that are being done right now,
okay.
Even done by the Chinese also, and you find that superb because the contract technical conditions have been properly written.
Wow, this is
if they're poorly written, you have a poor road. And then if it's an overbearing contractor, he will want to impose his own method in order to make money and run away. But the control mission that is hard will not let him do it.
are you telling me that there are no contractors, no consultants like you who don't understand the quality of the soil? They don't know their job, and so they do poor jobs?
No. That is another image which I think we need to wipe out. When I left the civil service on retirement, I've worked for about 10 Cameroonian consulting engineering firms who are doing very well in Cameroon.
Okay.
They are the ones controlling most of the works you see right now in Cameroon. They're Cameroonian.
Wow, that's good.
Then there are contractors who are also Cameroonians, and there are contractors who are foreigners.
Wow, okay. So tell me about, you see a road and there's usually a board, I don't know how they call it, where they write when the project is starting.
Exactly.
Yes, but
Yes.
you find it there like this year, and 3 years after, the board is still standing, but the road is not done.
Yes, that is the sad part of it. Now, don't blame the road not being done to one person.
Okay.
If the financing is not there, who can vote that this road would cost 35 billion, and then we are only 17, 18 billion is available. What do you do? Until the money continues to flow, the project stands.
Ah, that's serious.
Yes, it's a serious matter. I have controlled projects where halfway money is finished, government has to look for additional financing, which is normal.
Yeah, and so the people have to suffer.
People have to wait for the project.
That's a good way of putting it.
They have to wait for the project.
Wow, but during the waiting, the money, maybe I call it an advance payment. Is it not possible that while the population is waiting, you guys can water the road, you can make some gutters so that we don't have to?
Yeah, you are very right, Mirabel. The thing is that the contractor has the responsibility to make sure the passage of the road is in good state all the time.
Wow.
Until the project continues.
Oh, so I see this is where the problem is.
Yes, that's where the problem is.
Yes, because basically all the roads, especially in Yaoundé where we are, we see those boards, meaning that there is a contractor that is available to do that work.
Yes.
But if we're still jumping into potholes, it means that someone...
The project probably has not been received. The project probably has not been completely, properly finished, because it has to be finished and received for the final payments to be made. And so if those potholes are there, the payments will not be given to the contractor.
Wow, this is good.
That's the procedure in the contract.
Yes, okay. This is a very important thing for us to know, because we all, especially in Yaoundé, maybe my part of Yaoundé, I don't live in Basto, so maybe my part of Yaoundé where I live is really, really so bad. When we come back from this musical break, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking more about the doctor's experiences in road engineering.
It's Blue Jesus on this one.
Yeah. Girl, if I'm leaving for you. Anything that I'm doing for you, baby. You're the reason why I wake up with a smile on my face, and I promise that I will never hurt you, baby, no. I don't even know your name, but I won't call you Aisha, Fatima, Angelica. Let me call you Angelica. I'd like to make you mine and take you to India. And you know my love for you flows more than the river. Fatima, Aisha. Let me call you Angelica. Aisha, Fatima, I want to call you Angelica. Your love is all I want. Your love is all I need. Angelica, hey. Your love is all I want. Your love is all I need. Angelica, tell me that you need me now. Tell me that you love me now. Anything I give to you, my pretty, pretty girl, now you. Tell me that you love me now. Tell me that you need me now. Anything I give to you, my pretty, pretty girl, now you. Pretty, pretty girl, and you know if you comprehend when my love is so intense. You're my pretty, pretty girl, and you know if you comprehend when my love is so intense. Fatima, Aisha, let me call you Angelica. Aisha, Fatima, I want to call you Angelica. Your love is all I want. Your love is all I need. Angelica, hey. Your love is all I want.
chicks bleach out, but you're black and you're beautiful. Your lips glowing like the moonlight. We just a kiss gone, you quench my appetite. Baby, I'm only you, cause simple sexy and that's right. You one of a kind, I'm loving your swag, I'm loving your style. Girl, so I'm loving your smile. Nice chick with the spotters behind.
Right by my side, baby, you my boo, and I give you my world, baby, baby boo. I never let you go, I never let you leave, no, never. I give you all you want, I give you all you want, baby. Right by my side, baby, you my boo, and I give you all my world, baby boo.
Fatima, Aisha, let me call you Angelica. Aisha, Fatima, I want to call you Angelica.
Wow. Let me call you Peter Paul. I don't even know your name. I've been following you.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's going smoothly, and I was trying to make up my own song. Please have a seat.
Okay. Thank
I was trying to make up my own song. I thought of putting Lum or Neba Su, something
Okay.
like that. It did not go.
Yeah, he couldn't fit in.
Yeah, it couldn't fit in.
That's
So that's the stylistic nature of what music should be.
Exactly.
And of course, I know your name. You are Baron Carson.
Yeah.
Tell me about your musical journey. When did you start singing?
Started singing from childhood, man. But
In your
profession
mother's womb.
from childhood, you know. My
Many artists say that they started singing from their mother's womb, so don't blame me.
Yeah, I came out singing, actually. But you know, professionally, I will take it from the time my first video ever came out. That's Lovey Lovey. I say 2012. But I've been doing songs all my life. I grew up in a musical home. So
Wow.
my dad, that you guys know here in the CRTV, I don't know if you know personally, Billy George Carson. Yeah. So
Oh, that was my friend.
When you grew up with
You're
an
trying
artist,
to talk like him. I get it now.
okay. I sound like him, maybe.
Yeah,
but
you do.
No, that's
you
how I
do.
talk. Anyway.
Yeah, you do. Wow.
Yeah.
So how many albums, how many singles do you have in the market?
Album is, let's say it's far-fetched, but I've done a whole lot of singles out. I have Lovey Lovey Shake It. It's on YouTube. You see, I'm working on an EP that will be released on June. You see,
Yeah.
I have a couple of videos I'll be releasing next month. Then the EP I'll release on June. That was my first, you know. I wanted, at the start, you see, I was signed to a record label, you understand? And a lot of things, a lot of things was going on, you see. And when the contract was due, I had to sit back because this new vibe coming out. This Niger stuff, Afrobeat, you know. I had to really redefine my music and make it sound real universal. So
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I see myself as an
After rebranding?
Yeah, as an established artist, sitting in, living in Bamenda, married, and trying to help other artists grow. Thank you.
That's been very ambitious and it's so good. Thank you for coming on Shine Africa.
Thank you.
And see you some other time.
Thank you very much.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
You're very welcome back from that musical break, ladies and gentlemen. I am still in the company of Dr. Mundi Emmanuel, and we are talking road constructions. And of course, we talked about your experiences, especially now as a freelance consultant. I would like to know more about what you've done in Cameroon and also in Africa.
Thank you very much. I think my greatest experience has been the experience I have undergone since I left the civil service. As I said, I have worked with consulting engineering firms controlling projects. For instance, Mutnengene Muya. For instance, Bamenda Bambui Fundong. For instance, the Ndopkumbo Road right now, which we just finished that one. For instance, Ebebda Kalong. That's Ebebda Bafia Kalong.
Wow.
For instance, roads in the north that we reinforced, like the Marua Mora, was long ago.
Okay.
For instance, the Bafusam Bamenda Road, which is been redone so many times, but that was among my first projects I did when I came to Cameroon.
Wow.
It has outlived its usefulness, it has been reinforced, and so on and so forth. So these are projects I have done in Cameroon, plus foundation studies for important buildings.
Yeah, okay.
And then furthermore,
Foundation studies for important buildings.
all buildings, before you put them on the ground, like this hotel, the foundation, that is our specialty. Our foundation must be studied. Otherwise, how do you take a structure like this and place here? We must know where there is rock, if the soil is good, if it is going to settle, for how long,
Wow.
what type of foundations, large, big, small, deep, shallow foundations, etc., etc. Another example, if you know the bridge over the river before you get to Douala.
Yeah, it's always, we always
Dibaba.
think. Okay.
That is a bridge that is on pile foundations. It means there's no rock on the bottom.
Yes.
The bridge is just floating.
I was going to come to that because it's always like a miracle.
Yes, it's so easy. You float. I mean, if I take a matchstick and put it in butter, and then you take the matchbox and place on it, it may sink. But if you put 10 matchsticks or 20 and put that same matchbox on it, it will stand. That is what we call pile foundations working on friction. Like that's what's on the Dibamba. And there are many bridges like that. Furthermore, when I had the opportunity to work as the first general manager of the Trans-African Highway Authority, I worked in Kenya with the ministers of transport, Sudan, Gabon, Burundi quite a few times, advising and following up projects there financed by the World Bank. So I was like a technical eye on those projects for the count of the World Bank.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So now you've been working, at that time you were working principally or mostly out of the country. And
No.
now
I was working mostly here, but then when I became a freelance consultant, I did projects for the World Bank.
wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's taking your time now? What are you spending your time doing? Some more projects? And how can people get you? I know that you're on LinkedIn, the professional
LinkedIn,
side.
yeah, LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, so
No, I'm an engineer available to teach, available to consult on projects that has to do with pavement design for highways and so on and so forth.
wow.
Foundations of buildings. And you have been hearing catastrophes all around the place.
I'm telling you.
And nobody wants to think that they're geotechnical engineers. And so that is the problem. That's the other
So do
dimension.
individuals, for instance, if I were to do a house today, can I consult you?
Of
Can
course,
I consult you
that's
too?
my job. That's my job. Now, when you consult me, I will get a laboratory that carries out they call it in French sondage, that carries out the drillings, brings the results to me. I do the design.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, listen, this foundation, here you're going to have mat foundations, here you have piles, there you have footings, and so on. So you're building like this hotel, you will not sink.
Yeah. So what would you tell the Cameroonian public about the state of our roads? And we get very uncomfortable with what is happening, and it seems to be all over the country.
The real true message is that there are good engineers in Cameroon. Use them. And generally what is happening is that some of the population, they don't know where to get them. But there's the National Order of Civil Engineers
Okay.
that has some 2,000-3,000 engineers
This is
who are
serious.
licensed to do this type of work I'm talking about.
Yeah, and if you were to contact Dr. MUNDI Emmanuel, you have the email running on the screen at the moment. Now, I know that you're also deeply rooted in Christianity. You belong to the Presbyterian Church, PC Bastos. And how do you put together your church work and being a very active member of the Christian Men Fellowship?
Yes.
And also your travels and all of that?
I don't find it incompatible at all. I worship God in my house, I worship God in church, and I serve God's people in
And you are an
in-house.
elder?
Yes, I
Yes.
am elder, and this is my 11th year
Yes.
as an elder in the church.
Yeah. So it's very good for you?
And it's refreshing because when you serve God's people, you feel happy.
Yes. Unfortunately, we are running out of time for this slot, but I'd like to say a very big thank you to say a hi to your family of 9 kids and 14 grandchildren.
Yeah.
You've talked so well about them, so I cannot go without mentioning them here.
Yeah.
And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that some of you have been listening and watching right here in the hall, and someone may have a question for the doctor. What would that question be? It is the audience question.
My name is Macaulay Babila Isaac. I'm asking a question just to substantiate some of the main preoccupations of Dr. A.K. MUNDI. We're talking about the road nature that gets bad as rapidly sometimes, and then we find ourselves in bad roads. I would have loved to hear about the lifespan of a road.
Wow.
I would have also loved to hear the users of the roads. The roads don't get bad just because they were not well constructed. So it's a main preoccupation to me. Would like to hear a bit from
Wow,
Dr. MUNDI
beautiful
about that.
question.
Yeah, very beautiful question. Thank you, Mr. Babila Macaulay. That is the other problem. When we design and build a road, and its lifespan, standard lifespan for roads design in Cameroon is 15 years.
Okay.
It means that after 10 years, the government has to start looking for money to rejuvenate the pavement. So by the time we're on the 13th year or 14th, a new pavement is put and the road is given another 15 years.
Wow.
But now, if that time reaches and there's no money, the road deteriorates and there's nothing you can do about it. More to that, you find these huge trucks that stand on the road, empty their diesel, they jack their vehicles, and when they jack the vehicles, they form weak spots.
Wow.
And so what happens is that the first rains come and those weak spots become potholes. So it is user misbehavior.
Okay.
And people have to learn to know, to master the highway code and know how to use the road that has been designed and built and given to them.
Yeah.
You find that certain vehicles are overloaded, whereas the standard design axle, because we use the design axle of big trucks, not your small cars, is 13 tons, so that we use 13 tons. But now you look at the timber sometimes. The timber, the axle, those are the wheels.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you have axles of 15, 17 tons.
Oh, God.
Yes. And it's a geometric progression. When you go above the 13 tons, let me say to 14, you increase or you almost double the rate of degradation of the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are there special roads for such cars?
No, they're not supposed to have any vehicles overloaded to that point. The government has stipulated that the axle is 13 tons.
Oh,
You don't overload your vehicles, and that's why sometimes they're weighing the vehicles along the Douala on the
Yeah,
road.
I get
and
it.
you pay for
Yeah.
it.
There was a second question on who the road users are. Did you answer that already?
Well, the road
When you
users
do the road, yeah.
are partly responsible, and I can also say that even the...
No, like who are the road users? You've done your road. Who is supposed to use the road? Everyone?
All vehicles are
Okay.
the road users. That's what we mean by road users.
Okay.
All vehicles are the road users.
Okay.
Or even pedestrians.
Okay,
But
pedestrians.
not walking on the axle of the road, but on the sidewalks.
On the sidewalks of the
Yeah.
road. Well, I think that you answered the questions adequately, and I'm sure that the one who asked is very happy, Mr. Macaulay,
Yes.
is very satisfied with your
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
You have been on the hot seat. Now is the time for you to ask me a question, not a difficult one, please.
No, I'm happy you've given me the opportunity. And I've come here to your show. I have seen your show before. I am curious about the name Shine Africa. Can you explain to this ignoramus what is behind that name, Shine Africa? Thank you.
I come from a very poor background, and I did a lot of what young people now call hustling. So you try your hands here, you try your hands here, and then in the end, you're telling yourself, there is a better Africa that I see in my mind. I have it up there somewhere. And how do we make Africa better? Because everyone is like wanting to go out of Africa. Some of us don't want to go out of Africa, but how do we make it better? We have a lot of talents. Like for you to see me on TV, I'm just alone here, but look at the number of people who are working for you to have this show. So how do we make these people known? Because they're actually those who are making this show happen. It's not me. So how do we make these people know so that Africa can go? I tell myself that Africa is the next destination. And this is my way of shining Africa, bringing people with little experiences, sharing them so that others can learn from them.
That is really brilliant.
Thank you very much. I had 10 on 10. Wow, okay. We're going to my best slot. I'm off the hot seat now. We're going to my best slot. It is a dance slot. And you have asked for us to do something by Emi Kange. Makosa by...
Just 1 minute.
It's not even going to be up to 1 minute. Don't bother. So we are going to ask our DJ to give us that beat by Emi Kange.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
Wow. This is so beautiful. You're dancing as if you were in your 20s. You have no bones. I'm not trying to influence anyone. I'm just saying that he has danced well. Let us see how many marks Dr. MUNDI Emmanuel has made for himself just dancing. Was it a 5? No. Was it a 7? No. Was it a 9? That leaves us with a 10. 10 on 10.
Thank you.
10 on 10.
Thank you.
You're not going to sit down anymore, but we also are very happy that you're going to be the first person to sign our new African calabash, because this one is quite full. We went to Boya and everything, all the spaces available were taken. So we bring the new one. Wow, this is a new African calabash, and you are privileged to be the first one to put your geometric signature.
I am honored, really honored.
Just take it so that you can be comfortable. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you. We have it right here for verification. You do not come on Shine Africa and go back empty-handed. So we have a gift for you. Unfortunately, it's not your favorite color.
It's okay, it's okay.
This is from Shine Africa to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Shine Africa. Now
Yes.
I have to make sure I'm with Shine Africa all the time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We're so happy to have had you, and I've
you.
been very humbled.
Thank
you.
Shine, Africa, shine. Shine, Africa, shine.
Before we take leave of you, ladies and gentlemen, here is our watchword. It is an African proverb which says, "The brave man is not he who doesn't feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." The brave man is not he who doesn't feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we call it a wrap on this episode of Shine Africa. And of course, we have been at the Sumatel Hotel in BMC. And I say thank you to management and staff of this hotel for giving us this beautiful space and, of course, some rooms while doing the show. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I remain your host, Reverend Abongta Mirabel Seringwa. It's a bye-bye from me to you. Bye-bye. Wow.